Welcome back, humor consumers, to the Life Happens, Laugh Anyway podcast. I'm comedian Tracy DeGraaf.
I'm Cathrine, co-host Bestie.
Good morning, Cathrine.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cathrine is back. She had been out of commission for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And it just occurred to me as I hit record that I've got to get this edited and done today.
By tomorrow, right.
Yeah, because it's got to drop tomorrow.
I know. And we're not usually that tight on our schedule, but we've had to accommodate COVID for one.
Yeah.
And then your mom got shingles,
Mm-hmm.
and you had to take care of her for a little bit. And
Right.
so there were just life happening,
Mhm,
as we say,
yes.
life happens, laugh
Laugh
anyway. Yeah. And I'm grateful for healing, that everybody's better.
Yes.
And, that darn COVID, it keeps on popping up.
Right. It sure does. Are you talking about when I was just sick recently?
Well, I'm talking about that, but I'm also referring to in my family, I was thinking about now my in-laws might not be able to come
Mm-hmm.
for the bridal shower for my future daughter-in-law, soon to be daughter-in-law, because of COVID.
Yes.
And it's such a bummer.
It definitely is. Actually, Christy has it right now.
I know.
Yeah,
I was thinking
yeah.
of her too. I mean, all
Yeah.
these thoughts were in my head, but I was just
yeah.
expecting you to read my mind. So
I know. I was like, well, I had all the symptoms of COVID.
right.
I was like flat out sick. And I tested at home 3 times. It was negative. Then I went to the clinic and it also came back that it was negative, which I wish I had known. So I had this Elton John concert that
Right.
Ellis and I were going to. It was a gift from her. But I was able to go because I was past the point of like isolation, all that
Well,
stuff.
plus you had
Anyway.
4 negative tests, including
Well,
the one from the doctor.
The last one, though, I didn't get the lab one. I didn't get back the results back before I went to the concert. But
you had done 3 tests before the
yes,
concert.
Yes.
Yeah, it'd be nice to just say, okay, we're germy people,
Mm-hmm.
and we have remedies, so let's just keep on living. I don't know. I hope we
Yeah,
get there.
yeah.
We'll see.
Right. Well,
Well, for now, here we are, and we're recording this episode number 86.
yeah. Thankfully, right. All that is swept away for now.
Yeah. That's exactly it. You kind of go,
Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
That's all you can do.
Yeah.
That's all any of us could do.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you're just tuning in for the first time, we welcome you to the Life Happens, Laugh Anyway podcast, where Cathrine and I bring a different topic every week to the pod lab, and we discuss it. We think these are things you'll care about, and I'm confident that everyone listening cares about farding.
Yeah.
Farding. What is it, Cathrine?
Basically, it's just the term, an oldie-worldy term for putting on makeup.
All right.
Painting your face.
Right. I was at a retreat conference, like renewal revival thing many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this preacher who was talking about makeup.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was interesting. And I just remember him saying, if the barn needs painting, paint the barn.
Was he a Southern guy?
He was like a Southern Baptist guy.
I knew it.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I can't disagree with that. If something needs paint, throw it on there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have a couple takeaways from our podcast today. So the time that you spend with us will be well invested. You are going to learn, 1, what is farding? We're going to dive in a little bit more than what we just gave you. Secondly, we have some fun facts to share about farding. And then finally, some cosmetics and what we spend on cosmetics. So some
Yeah,
little
that's a
facts
lot.
about that. And maybe even some recommendations for women over 40, over 50. Some of the things that, you may enjoy trying some products that we've tried or that I've tried. Okay, so we have that. Then we're going to have some spiritual inspiration.
Believe it or not.
Yeah, right. We always do.
It's amazing, but we do.
That's
That's sometimes we'll have a topic like this one, farting. And I'm like, okay.
There's no Bible
What?
verses about it.
There actually is.
Yeah.
Yeah, about adorning yourself. And, there's Jezebel who wore makeup and she was considered evil. And her
Wow.
makeup is what made her stand out.
Yeah, and it was her intentions, right? I mean, it was the innards of her.
Exactly. But I think that there's biblical references about makeup and sex, or there's something there.
Well, we're
in the
going
Old
to go
Testament.
there with some encouragement. So stay tuned
Yeah.
because it's coming. And our podcast has sponsors. Who are our sponsors, Catherine?
Puffin.
And who's that?
That would be Kenny and Ron, our husbands. So lovingly support everything that we do.
They have to.
And we couldn't do this without them because they work.
Yeah.
And we don't. Well,
we do, but we don't get
do.
paid.
Yeah, not on a consistent basis.
Right. So stay tuned for how you can help us support the podcast because we're bound and determined to figure that one out.
Please, sir.
And we will. We'll get there. All right. Well, I think we've covered all of the things that we need to cover. So, hang with us all the way to the end, friends, because we've got some little nuggets for you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's dive into what is it. You've said it's oldy-worldy. What does that mean? What does oldy-worldy mean?
It's a term that was used centuries ago, I think in the 1400s. It comes from a French word, fard.
Yeah.
And
Fard, which means like to cover or something like that.
Yeah, because farding is the verb form of the act of putting makeup on.
Mm-hmm.
And then the noun, fard, is, excuse me, hold on. I got to clear my throat. I don't know why my voice does that sometimes when I start talking.
Well, maybe it's
Weird.
because it's kind of early in the morning and you haven't really talked a ton, although you sort of have.
Yeah,
I mean, we had prayer for an hour
I know.
beforehand.
Gosh.
Anyway,
And fard, the noun, is the actual term for it. Well, I forget why it's a noun, actually. And I'm unprepared. But
with the link, are you looking for the link?
I am. Let me see
Well,
here.
the interesting things, words and the origins of them and all of that is sort of fun. And it is an oldie-worldy term because we don't use it anymore. We just call it putting on your makeup, right?
Yeah.
I don't hear any young people
Applying.
saying, I'm going to go farting now.
Well, I don't hear any old people saying
No,
that either.
just
'cause-
us.
How did you come across that anyway?
I don't know. How do I come
remember.
across anything? Do you know how many things fly
that's
through
right.
my brain?
Google.
Yeesh.
That's right. I have to tell you, this is funny. So in the Merriam-Webster dictionary, fard, the verb to paint the face, as we've said, with cosmetics.
Mm-hmm.
And the example they give, I think, is hilarious. We were greeted at the door by a young woman with heavily farded cheeks.
Oh, wow.
Heavily farded cheeks. If that
Okay.
were pronounced wrong, that would...
Well, that's part of the fun of farting.
Yeah. Anyway, it's an old French word. And when I say oldie-worldy, it means that it's just
A word that we don't use anymore.
Exactly.
They used a long time ago. But we certainly, women today, certainly fard. And farting is a multi-billion-dollar industry.
For sure. Did you know that it's also the upper stomach of a cow?
No.
Or other
No, I
ruminant
did not.
animal? Yeah.
I thought that was the udder.
The
that would be
udder
on the
is what's
outside.
The udder, right, exactly.
Never mind.
But that
I
also...
don't know my cow anatomy.
That's okay.
Well, what have you got over there on your fun facts? Because you said you had some fun facts for farting.
Well, some of it is just, I thought I would tell y'all
Yeah.
how long I've been putting on makeup.
Now, how long has it been, Catherine?
Well, I started at 12, I think.
That seems about right. Like that's about the age that
yeah.
girls start to experiment with makeup and
I
or maybe even younger. I don't
I
know.
didn't put on any foundation or anything, but I started with mascara and eyeliner because it was the 80s. So eyeliner was absolutely a thing.
Yeah, it sure was.
And I just thought my eyes needed a boost. They probably didn't really need that. When I look back
At
at
12.
pictures, I'm like, dang, I didn't need any makeup.
Well, you certainly at those young ages
Yeah.
don't need to cover as much, because you just haven't had as much life
Yeah.
under your belt.
You know, what just came to mind was, when did I start wearing lipstick? Because I'm addicted to lipstick. Like, I feel like I don't have on makeup if I don't have on lipstick.
You feel naked
Uh-huh.
if your lips are naked.
Right. So I don't remember when I first started putting that on. I don't know if it was high school or not. I don't think so.
Do you ever remember like digging into your mom's makeup?
Do you know what?
What?
As you just said that, so my mom used to have, and my cousin Christy's mom had those tiny little Avon
Mine
lipsticks,
too.
the little white
The samples,
ones,
yeah.
the little samples,
Mm-hmm.
and we would sneak those and get those. Oh my gosh.
fun,
So-
right? They were like the little fun size. They were only like an
Yes,
inch
it was
long.
just so cute.
Yeah.
And
And they
I
were
remember-
always the boldest colors.
Yes. I do remember getting into my mom's stuff, and she would always say, don't, because she knew that I wore mascara sometimes. Well, I didn't have a job at 12. And so how did I get my mascara? Well, I think my mom's. And she'd always say, don't touch my mascara. She's from England, and I
That's
couldn't.
her
I always
accent.
was annoyed that she would say mascara, banana, tomato, and
Instead of
why
the
can't you say it like an American?
Why didn't she want you to touch her mascara?
Well, it's hers.
Oh.
She used to say, I can't have anything nice.
Oh boy, yeah. I remember hearing that too.
Yeah.
And I probably remember saying it.
Mhm.
Although my kids never got into my makeup because they're all boys.
Right.
Thankfully.
Thankfully, yeah.
Yeah. I remember getting into my mom's it was like a little cover-up stick. It looked like lipstick, but it was for under the bags under the eyes.
Oh, okay.
So as a kid, I didn't have bags under my
No.
eyes, but I would get her stuff out.
Did you have pimples?
Not at those younger ages. In my teen years, I had some acne, not bad. So to cover that, yeah, I probably used it for that. But I remember, speaking of mascara, I remember the first time that I went to my grandma's house with mascara on, and it was caked on both upper and lower lashes, you know, and she laughed so hard.
Yeah.
And she said, it looks like two spiders
Spider
climbed
legs.
up on your eyeballs.
Do you remember? I can remember that. Like, your eyes just felt different, too.
They
like
felt
they
heavy.
Were just,
Yeah.
blink, 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 blink.
Well, and sometimes they would clump together.
Yeah.
And the gooiness from the top and the bottom, you know.
Yeah.
One side note, I was just going through, by the way, friends, I am getting intentional about social media sharing. I'm working with a professional marketer who's helping me, Olivia Sproul. She's wonderful, local gal here in the Chicago area. And one of the things that we're working on is putting out there, like, behind the scenes, just to see if anybody cares, you know, and if they don't, then we'll switch it up. But we kind of think it's fun to do the behind the scenes things. Well, one of the things I prepared to post for September is a behind the scenes look at me getting ready for a photo shoot that we did down in Nashville. And the whole goal of the photo shoot, hair, makeup, photography, lighting, clothing, everything, is to make you look natural.
Yeah.
Okay?
All of that.
It takes forever.
Thousands of dollars
And-
to look natural.
And then when you're behind the camera, so the photographer was telling me, try to look natural. And when you're
that was so funny.
trying to look natural, it's really hard.
It's awkward.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
And they were trying to get me to do a sweep with my hair.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, not like that. Look like natural. And I'm like, oh.
My natural is like,
Yeah.
real quick.
Yeah.
Not a slow hand motion over the.
Right. And
no.
it all worked out, but it did take a full day with several people, professional people. The hair and makeup gal had to really work her butt off to make the whole thing work.
Not that you need a lot of work.
Oh, no.
But
yeah, all to look natural.
right.
And then she actually applied to me those false eyelashes, which I thought they looked great. And they did look natural. But
Yeah.
I could never apply those to my own self because I can't get them on the right way. I've tried.
Did you try the magnetic ones?
No, I've never tried those, but
Ellie wears those.
does she? Interesting. Well, maybe I'll have to try that. All right. Other fun facts?
Well, I figured out the math of how many hours I have put on makeup, and it's in my lifetime.
Okay.
So what I did was I figured about, now this is just makeup, not hair, because if I added that, because I did hair in the 80s, I spent forever on my hair. It was
yeah,
big
your
and
number would be
thick.
way double.
Right. So 30 minutes a day for only 5 days a week for 41 years. I'm 53. And I figured I started putting on makeup around 12.
Okay. So how much time you got invested in this whole farting thing?
5,330 hours.
Well, you're halfway to being an expert because they say if you do anything for 10,000 hours, it makes you an expert. So you'll be just when you're dead. You'll be an expert farter.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, right. And I could say, did you know too that the origin of makeup, they believe, travels back to time in about 6,000 years ago in Egypt.
I absolutely believe it.
And makeup served as a marker of wealth, believed to appeal to the gods. And so they had elaborate eyeliner, just like in the movies.
Well, look at all the Egyptians and such.
Right.
Cleopatra, I bet she had some eyeliner.
Egyptian art, yeah.
Also, look at Esther in the Bible.
Yes.
I mean, they stuck those women into some sort of beauty program for 6 months.
That's right. They did.
They sure did. So they did all the treatments. And, people are smart. They figure stuff out.
Yeah.
Mud baths and whatever.
It says that they used Kohl, Kohl, like Kohl, like the department store. So I wonder if Kohl's department store is after whatever this is, because I don't even know what it is. But it says Kohl rouge and white powders to lighten their skin tone.
I don't know.
And malachite eyeshadow.
Well,
Dramatic is.
Here's what I do know. From the beginning of women, right? Oh gosh, this is kind of hard to figure out though, because what did they use? Well, they probably went and grabbed berries and whatever they wanted to color their skin, whatever they, however they wanted to look. And do you remember where women would press their lips together to,
like I'm doing right now? Oh
no, press them together, and then it makes the blood flow to the lips, and they look pinker.
Oh,
have you ever heard that?
I think so.
I've seen it on TV. Some kind of
just pat them.
Well, and pinching your cheeks and stuff.
I mean, yeah.
Women definitely, we like to look good. We do. We care.
Yeah.
Men, maybe they do. Maybe they wish that they could wear all this makeup.
Well, I found something that did say that the male industry, like that's rising in terms of them.
Okay, it is rising in terms of grooming. They have all those. Every month you can get a packet of razors and it gives you some kind of lotion for your beard.
Yes. That's true.
I've seen my boys get into all that and I'm shocked. I'm like, I had no idea that men cared about all the stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. One product that I wanted to talk about was Boom.
Okay.
I love my Boom.
Yeah, you do.
It's called Boom Color or whatever. I think the company is called Boom, which is BOOM. And they have a skincare line, and they also have other stuff, for skin. But they have this little tube called Boom Color, and it's a sheer pinky kind of a color. You can put it on your cheeks, your lips. You can put it wherever you want a little color. So let's say you're wearing a strapless thing and you want a little color on your shoulders or whatever. You can make it look like you've been out in the sun.
Doesn't get on your clothes when you put it on your shoulders?
Well, it would get on your clothes. You would want to make sure that it's not touching your clothes. But if you want to look a little sun-kissed, you can rub in some of this Boom stuff, just wherever you want to look like you've had a little sun.
Yeah. I bought this stuff called Vacay.
Ooh.
And that also gives a look of being sun-kissed. It's like a little warm. It's not pink at all.
Like you've been on vacay.
Exactly right.
I like the name of that.
What products have you over the years used the most? Kind of like over the counter from a pharmacy or the more upscale stuff?
I've never used upscale skincare per se. Not real expensive. I've used Mary Kay Cosmetics, which I would consider that upscale, but it's not really expensive. But I have used that. I've also used, just like, from the pharmacy or whatever. Right now, I'm using Melaleuca, which is through the internet. You have to do like a monthly order. But I love I've always used a wash for my face, not soap. A facial cleanser, which I just like. And I'm using like a citrus one right now.
Nice.
Yeah. And then it has like this it's almost like a gel. It's not really a cream or a lotion. It's like a gel that moisturizes. So I put that on and it doesn't feel heavy. So I like that. I don't know if it's really preserved me.
Well, your skin is actually really nice.
Oh, for 56.
It really is. I use, for facial cleaner, I will either use goat's milk soap, so handmade soap out of things that are not harsh, or I have this product. It's by L'Oreal, and it's for women my age. So it has a little bit of oil in it. It's very, very gentle on the skin.
What's the name of it? Is it just a facial wash?
It's
nice.
L'Oreal something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to say age defying, but I think that's marketing.
I am pretty faithful at washing my makeup off every day.
Oh, yeah.
I heard years ago, I don't know if this is a myth, but I heard years ago, if you don't wash off your makeup, first of all, you feel grimy the next day. You know, to have that all on your skin, it's all on your eyes and stuff. And it feels better. It feels more fresh to wash it off at night and then in the morning, wash again. Anyway, I've gotten into the habit of that. So I am pretty faithful with every single night. I just do a little routine. It's quick, just a facial wash.
I don't every night. Sometimes I feel like it came off anyway. And I don't know. It just doesn't feel heavy on me. Or years ago when I used to go to a dermatologist, the dermatologist had said, don't wash your face too much. You're aggravating it.
Oh,
You're
maybe
doing
I'll
this.
try
and
that
then
too.
also the gal that I go to get my eyebrows done, which I haven't gone in a while, she's a professional face girl. I don't forget
what do
they're
they call them? Esthetician?
Yes.
Is that the face?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she said, don't wash your face too much.
Well,
and
you probably can overdo it, right? And strip your skin of whatever it needs.
So I try not to disturb it too much.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was going to say, in my 20s and 30s, I mostly used Clinique and Lancome.
That was popular.
From the, makeup counter in the mall.
Yeah.
At Marshall Fields. So I used that most of the time.
Yeah.
And that would be for foundation, mascara, rouge, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now I go to Ulta and I still use more upscale for the most part.
For all your makeup?
I do. I use it.
Yeah.
I use
for the foundation?
For the foundation. Sometimes I use it for the mascara. But yeah.
I'm getting all of my makeup, including skincare, from Melaleuca. And it's working out really well. The thing I love about the foundation that I'm using is it has a SPF in it.
Oh, yeah, this does too.
I love that. And I would highly recommend that for women.
Yes, I would too.
Because, and if you use a foundation that doesn't have SPF in it, then you really should put on some sort of a facial sunscreen every day.
Yeah.
You really should, because I was shocked. It's been now 2 years, I think, that I had skin cancer on my nose. And I've had to have those cells removed twice now. So now I go every year to the dermatologist to have them check that area as well as other areas. I get a mole check once a year.
I got to get there.
Yeah, I think it's a really good idea. I just learned of someone who I know from my hometown who has really sick with skin cancer. Yeah. It's metastasized, and that's so challenging.
Yeah.
So take care of yourselves, friends, because a mole check at the dermatologist can help you get ahead of those things. And I'm not one who really was a sun worshiper because I hate to be hot.
I know. That's why I'm surprised that.
Well, I think it's my fair skin.
Yeah.
Even though half of my heritage is Spanish. My mom had really dark skin, and my brother and sister tan, and they look bronzy and all that. Well, my dad was Irish, so I have this pale pinky. I had freckles when I was a kid, and I'm the only one in our family that has light eyes.
Yeah,
I'm fair.
You're ghost.
Yes.
Your skin color is
ghost. Casper. Yeah, Catherine likes to make fun of me. But I've never liked the sun, and I was shocked that I had pre-skin cancer cells on my nose that had to be dealt with. All that to say, handle it, gals. Get a handle on all of that kind of healthy stuff.
I need to do that. And I'm usually really good at every year, getting all checked out, but I haven't done that. I used to lay out now this is preteen, with Crisco oil.
Oh boy.
Because I'm like, I want
to fry.
Yeah. Because then after I burned, then it would turn to a tan.
Right.
And I didn't have money to go buy like baby oil. So
you just grab the cooking oil.
Yes. Put it all over, lay out on the deck.
Do you remember Hawaiian Tropical?
Oh, yeah. I had
love
that.
the smell of that. The coconut oil.
I'm surprised you did.
Well,
yes.
I mean, we had all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I didn't get into it because I would just burn.
Uh-huh. And you don't like pain.
No.
So there we go.
Yeah. No dummy. But I got the cancer anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a really good reminder to be proactive about your health and not reactive, because you don't want to wait until now you got some kind of growth.
True. Well, right. And, I care more about the wrinkles and the lines above the upper lip there, all that stuff too, on top of cancer. I just don't want to age any faster than what I already am. It's accelerating.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's interesting. Any other products or anything that you'd like to recommend to our listeners?
Well, I feel it is a very good product.
It is.
I really do. And it was the woman that invented it. She had like real skin issues. So anyway, she came up with this formula, and it's sold exclusively at Ulta. I feel like they're not sponsoring us, by the way. I feel like this is like a sales pitch. But
well,
it's not.
nice
it's
to it's nice to have some recommendations though. And Ulta is pretty much everywhere, and you can get it. Mm-hmm. Of course, you can always get it from Amazon too, I'm sure.
Yeah. Did you know the number one sold makeup product in the industry is L'Oreal?
Not surprised.
Yeah, it's over the counter.
Yeah.
It's a good product. I believe Lancome, I don't know if it's still the case, but I believe Lancome owned it. I mean, they're both French.
Mm-hmm.
Then the second top players in the beauty industry is Unilever. After that, it's Estee Lauder, P&G, and Coty. C-O-T-Y.
I've never heard of Coty.
Me neither, but they must own names that we do recognize. L'Oreal, $6 billion more in sales than the second place Unilever. That's a lot more than the second place one.
Okay.
Wow.
Another thing about farting, right? Mm-hmm. That is sort of crazy with technology and social media. Have you seen where there'll be people on social media who are putting on makeup and then they're talking about something else not related to the makeup at all? Have you seen this? Mm-hmm. It's sort of like a trendy thing, I guess.
Okay.
So there's this one girl, she's from England, and she's a young gal.
Yeah.
And she puts on makeup and she tells you the story about a murder.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And
that might be fun to watch.
It's different.
Interesting. Yeah.
And it is interesting. And she, true crime is pretty popular.
I'm addicted.
Yeah, it's pretty popular.
Mm-hmm.
And also this farting thing of doing your makeup to social media is popular. So she does the whole routine, her whole face.
While she's
telling all the facts about this murder.
How interesting.
Right?
And I can't believe people watch it, but I think maybe I would.
Yeah, I think I did. I mean, I found her and I'm like, wow, that's interesting.
Holy moly, that is so cool.
Here's another thing about farting. I think that it's the perfect time to listen to the Life Happens Laugh Anyway podcast.
Oh, very good point.
Right?
Absolutely. Come on now.
Some of our listeners may be listening right now
and
while they're
farting.
They're farting.
Speaking of.
What?
I got pulled over once for farting.
Oh.
Yes.
What happened?
Well, when I was younger, not so much now, I used to be late all the time.
Wait a minute.
Yes, Tracy, I am not late anymore.
What?
I'm not.
Okay.
No, I'm on time. I wouldn't say I'm always early.
You mean you were more late than you?
Oh, girl. I always had this problem of thinking I had more time than I just always had this problem of thinking I can make it.
I went to pick you up and you thought you had time to paint your toenails. Okay. And I get there and your toenails are wet.
You got there early. You got there 15 minutes earlier than what we said.
Okay, still, even if...
And so I didn't know you were coming early.
Okay, True that. But even if I was coming at the time that we had said.
This is so funny that it's coming out now because you didn't say anything at the time.
I did too. I said, girl, and that meant.
That was it.
Right.
That's all you said.
I didn't go into the whole thing. I knew. But I'm like, dang. We're having a fight. This is how we fight.
I love this. This is where it comes out. I did have time to just quickly put it on real quick. Now, I do admit that I still had a few things to throw together for my bag. But other than that.
Not only that, you had a whole day the day before.
Actually, no, I didn't.
You couldn't have done your toes except for when I'm coming to get you. The last 15 minutes
I
knew you
were thinking that. I knew it. Because I would be too.
Well,
I would be too.
Okay, and then what happened was she's like caught like a deer in the headlights, and she's like, "Uh-oh."
Well, I didn't know you were coming early.
Well,
15 minutes is a lot of time.
It wasn't 15 minutes. It was 10 minutes. And I texted you. And I said,
I didn't get your
in.
text, though.
Why not?
My phone was on the charger.
Oh. Well, okay, so when
I left my...
You left what?
I left my phone on the charger that day.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, why did you do that? Because I made you flustered? Because I was like, girl, we got to go.
Well, you didn't say that, but I knew we had to.
Okay. Well, anyway, then we left to go to this gig in Indiana. That's where we were going. Well, we were going to go shopping first. It was the night of the Franciscan Health event.
Right, I know.
Yeah. So we left, and Cathrine brings her toenail polish with her. So we get to the spot where we're going to go shopping, and she goes, I just got to finish this up, my pedicure. So she gets out of the car and sits on the curb, and she's doing her toes.
I said, I'll meet you in there.
Yeah. It's funny.
Yeah. And we were in front of the wrong building.
Right.
And I was like, I'll walk over there. I'll meet you there. But
yeah. Anyway. But okay, all that to say, back to.
Oh, wait, I'm talking, about so I used to be late. And so I used to work at Dominic's.
Like, you mean last week you used to be late? Okay, go ahead.
It's still past tense.
True.
So, okay.
It's going to be different from now on. No more of that.
Folks, I am not late anymore. But okay. I used to be on a consistent basis. Anyway. So I'm driving.
You were late for work?
Oh.
To Dominic's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Either that or I slid into base.
Oh, I hate that. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, anyway, if I could get the story out.
Out.
I would be like, yeah, I could just put my makeup on in the car.
Uh-huh.
And I was a new driver at the time. So here I was down 187th in Mokina, Illinois, and I'm putting on makeup, my
while you're driving, not at the light. You're currently moving.
Oh, yeah, because I could do everything all at once, pedal to the metal.
Mm-hmm.
And I got pulled over.
For speeding?
Mm-hmm.
And did he say something about the makeup? He, she, whoever?
It was a he. And I just looked up like, yes. And he says, what you doing there? And I was like, speeding. And I look over to my side. You can see all the makeup on the passenger side of the car, And he looked at it too. And he just, he gave me a strict warning. And he said, no more putting makeup on when you drive, And
that's good advice.
It was very good advice. And I knew it was. Mm-hmm.
But
I don't know that I actually
learned from that.
I don't know that I obeyed.
Okay, here's a segue right into this article that I found about the law and farding.
Okay.
It is illegal to fard while driving in Washington, D.C.
As it should be.
It should be because it's considered distracting.
I know if my daughters were doing that, like I used to do, I would have a lot to say about that. Like you're just not smart.
And this article further goes on to describe the Distracted Driving Task Force in Illinois. So they have a task force. And they talk about the things that distract you from your driving.
Kids. It
can include eating, drinking, smoking, picking up something from the car, wherever, changing the radio station. Excuse me. And they talk about They talk about the three main elements of distracted driving, and it is being distracted mentally, like in your mind, like you're thinking about something else, as well as distracted with physically, like you're physically in the car moving things around or whatever.
All the time.
That stuff is dangerous.
Yeah, but you know what? Your car is like your second house, and I do it all the time.
Well,
all the time.
That should be in the past, because you should have, it says here, according to this article, that you should have your hands at 10 and 2, 100% of the time, and your mind should be on the thing in front of you.
Okay.
Because it's hard enough to stay proactive, right? You need to be a defensive driver. What if somebody swerves in front of you or brakes, quickly in front of you? You need to have a reaction time. So if you're proactive about it and you're like, you know what? No texting, no eating, no farting.
Speaking of that, the list that you had there on the computer, didn't it say eating, moving things about? It didn't say anything about a cell phone, did it? I was surprised.
No, let's see. It says some activities that many drivers do that can cause accidents besides cell phones.
Oh, it said besides cell phones.
So it's assuming everything. You're not supposed to even touch your cell phone when you're driving.
Right. Well, you don't have to anymore. It's hands-free.
Okay. But even hands-free, I think that we should just be on the safe side. And on the safe side, it's best I'm speaking for myself because I'm not that great of a driver anyway, as we know. I know. You got to be paying attention. You cannot be doing makeup unless I'm a passenger. Then I can.
Yeah.
But if I'm operating a vehicle, I need to be fully engaged in that activity.
I feel that if you can't drive and drink your water, that the cup, that's right there in the cup holder, or you can't drive and switch the radio, let's just say, then maybe you shouldn't be driving.
I don't agree with that at all.
Because that is pretty simple. And you can be fully engaged and fully alert driving and just quick switch the radio. Otherwise, it wouldn't be there if it...
No, I do not agree with that at all.
Really?
You
hit the maps thing while you're driving.
Okay. I'm not saying that I never do anything other, but I do not agree that it's something that we should do. We should not take our hands off. We should not take our focus off of what's going on. I know somebody who, we were young adults at the time, but her mom died that way. She was changing some channel or something happened, and
you gotta bring that up.
Well, I'm just saying that the best strategy is to be fully engaged in driving.
Yes. Yeah.
Ultimately.
But the reality is,
Well, but okay, so let's go back to farting. Farting should be an absolute no-no when driving.
It should be. That's correct.
Absolutely. No.
Yeah.
And texting, no. And looking down to try to find a station, no. Figure all that out before you take off.
Anyway.
Listen to me, friends. I care about you. Catherine just... All right, what else have you got over there?
I have... Do you know that North Asia represents 35% of the global beauty market?
Well, look how big it is on our map here. Look how big that is.
Okay. I would have thought that Europe would, though.
What's so tiny?
Europe is not tiny.
Compared to North Asia, it is.
Listen, North Asia, not all of Asia, just North Asia. And Europe as a whole is huge. Anyway, Europe only makes up 22%.
Europe makes up 22% of the farting industry?
Yeah.
All right.
Beauty industry.
Okay.
You got France. You've got,
France is a small country, Catherine.
Yes, it is.
Extremely small. It's a little boot. Oh, no, that's Italy.
But it's highly populated. Anyway.
Compared to the land mass, it is, but that's not highly populated compared to populations of bigger countries.
It's just,
it's dense.
I would have thought Europe would be top. Yeah, because Europe is big. And no surprise, the makeup beauty industry fell in guess what year recently?
2020 and 2021.
Yeah, 2020.
Because nobody cares with the mask
you had to
and
cover
you're
your
at home.
face up.
Well,
Right.
yeah. Well, you're at home. Who cares? And then you're outside and you got it all covered. So never mind.
Yeah, the pandemic really just made everything decline, including health and beauty. Yes, that was just
that a
some
wrap?
interesting stuff on the beauty industry there.
Well, that's great fun.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get to our scripture.
Oh, well, I just was going to tell you how much money we've spent.
Oh, well, let's get that first. Then we'll do the scripture.
The beauty industry generates over $100 billion in revenue. That's worldwide, actually.
Oh, so it's not just American.
No,
okay,
it's
$100
not.
billion in revenue for what period of time?
That is per year.
That's a lot of money.
That is a real lot of money. I wonder how it is in comparison to the music industry. Anyway, but surprisingly too, in 2020, it wasn't as low as, for some reason, in 2003, it was really low. 30.79 billion.
Interesting.
And 2020 was 44.75. So, I don't know why, but that's that.
Well, thank you for investigating all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Are we ready now to go to our scripture?
Yes.
Well, we have two scripture verses to share. One is Proverbs 27, verse 19. And it says this: as water reflects the face, so one's life reflects the heart.
Mm.
And I think that's a good remembrance for us to prioritize.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's okay to put a value on how we look, but it's more important to put a value on what's coming from our heart. So keep that in mind.
True that. There's no better cosmetic than a joyous face.
Yeah, or a smile. I mean,
Right.
come on now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Psalm 34, verse 5 is the second verse, and it says, those who look to him are radiant, and their faces shall never be ashamed.
There we go.
That is the perfect... Really, when you think about it, it comes back down to the gospel again.
Yeah.
Because farding is to cover. That's the meaning of the word, is to cover. And Jesus covers our sins. And he did that for every single person that can hear my voice right now. Jesus covers our sins by his death on the cross. And when we place our full trust in that, then we're radiant. You know, we don't have to be ashamed because he's covered our sin. Mm-hmm. He took it.
Preach it, girl.
I know. There it is. The gospel.
Yeah.
That's the good news, right?
It is the good news.
Is that we're not condemned by our sin. Our sins are covered by Jesus. So we can have joy. We can be filled with radiance.
Be unveiled.
Woohoo.
There you go.
That's good enough for me. All right. What's our call to action today, Catherine?
Check out our video. What did we call it? How to put on makeup or makeup tutorial.
Yeah,
I believe is
I think
what
it's a makeup tutorial.
On your YouTube channel.
Yes.
Tracy DeGraaf.
Go to YouTube and put my name in the search and find it that way. And please comment on it. Let's see how many people actually, if you've stayed with us this far, I'm going to it right now to see what the exact name of it is. But if you've hung with us this far into the podcast, please go to YouTube and comment, so that we can hear from you. Yeah, it is called Makeup Tutorial. Right now, it has 396 views, and it was from 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And let's see how many people do our call to action, because we're going to check it. We'll check it after this airs.
How many did you say right now? 396?
It's at 396.
I'm going to write it down.
Right now. And then if you can, go ahead and like and comment, because that helps somehow. In the tutorial, you'll see it's me, but it's Catherine's arms. And that's what makes it funny.
Hilarious.
She's sitting behind me, and she's putting makeup on me blindly. So it's her arms, but it's my face. It's quite funny. All right. Well, that's a wrap. What's our topic for next time? I didn't look at it ahead of time.
What is it? It's embarrassing moments or awkward
Ooh,
moments.
fun.
Yeah.
Everybody loves that. All right. Well, you've been listening to the Life Happens, Laugh Anyway podcast. I'm still comedian Tracy DeGraaf.
I'm still Cathrine.
We'll see you next time.